But no, I mean, you're right though, Bloodaxe. Like we got to see it. Like when we get that topic, we have seen the emotional scenes, and if you can't even do it when you don't have to be on camera, you know what I'm saying? How bad would you do on camera? You feel me?
Oh yeah.
Like if you can't even do it with just your voice, you definitely ain't gonna be able to do it with your face and your voice and your acting.
Show it with your face.
That's all I'm saying, dude. Is I can only imagine it would be even worse if it was acted out on top of how badly the emotions were. I mean, compared to the scene with Dom, you know, and how, let's be honest, manly tears. Come on, Clinton, you know, Bloodaxe, like we felt it.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah, no. It's one of those things that I could only watch once, and I had to skip after that.
oh man, you know, we put ourselves through it not too long ago. We sat down and watched all the saddest scenes from some of our favorite animes. I ain't gonna lie though, man, my eyes were watering. I was just like, hey man, you know, Wolfwood was a man.
I'm not crying.
Man, Wolfwood finally lit the cigarette though, man. He got the cigarette lit.
Oh man.
Wolfwood. You know. No. Edward? Oh no, his old daughter. Oh no, like Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We literally went through the trifecta of pain. We went through Full Metal, Alchemist Brotherhood, the hardest scenes. We went into Trigun, Death of Wolfwood. We had just got off of Edge Runners, the final episode, so we're just getting kicked in the nuts. And I suggested we just go ahead and watch the last episode of Cowboy Bebop, but y'all didn't have it in y'all because I was like, screw it, let's go check out what happened to Spike.
Instead, we watched some pansy ninja cry.
How was Edge Runners? I haven't seen it. How was it?
Huh?
How was Edge Runners?
It's very, very good. Except, man, they go for the downer ending.
Oh no,
man.
it's very cyberpunk. It is full-fledged cyberpunk.
It was killing me at the end, though, man. I was like, oh no, really? Damn it, this hurts.
I mean, don't expect a happy ending because that shit doesn't fly in cyberpunk.
Yeah.
We have the happy ending when Mrs. Bloodaxe is here.
All right, so let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xeno. I'm here with...
I'm Q.
And on Skype...
We have Bloodaxe.
We have started this show inappropriately. We got to YouTube where we need to be cleaner, and we have not started an episode less dirty.
Well, we at least omitted some of the language.
Well, we got them out before we went live, yeah. We dropped some F-bombs.
But I think I just ruined it anyway.
But then it's innuendo.
Well, it wasn't.
I don't know how well their algorithm picks up innuendo there.
But no, it's never mind. I hope she's not watching the show.
Mr. Bloodaxe is a very happily married man.
Oh. All right. I don't even know where to start now.
Nobody does. We're dying over here, man.
Pick a random tab.
Let's see. Where do I... We've got...
We'll start with video games, comics, or corporate news.
I think we'll start with the corporate Nintendo news.
Yeah, that one's interesting.
Yeah. All right, so first up, let's talk about Nintendo Japan is now refusing to repair products if customers threaten or harass its staff. I'm actually more surprised that they allowed people to threaten and harass their staff to begin with.
I know it's known zero tolerance policies, both in and out of the company, as in with what they'll take from customers and what they expect from their staff to be pretty common.
Yeah, I mean, I worked for a large mobile company for a while, and I will say, you know, if somebody started cussing or anything like that, man, that was, you know, in the call. You know, we didn't put up with that stuff. So the fact now, I know Q here says he finds some of these concerning. So this is what they basically released. They said, according to its sites, let's see, actions that could make Nintendo refuse to repair a product include intimidation or threats. Okay. Insulting or
Denigrating
remarks, invasion of privacy, okay? Excessive demands, such as for a free repair when the warranty has expired. Demanding an apology from Nintendo or its staff without reasonable cause. Excessively repeating the same request or complaint. And defamatory comments on social networks and or websites.
But before you jump in, I got a real quick clarification question.
Okay.
Are they talking about in warranty, out of warranty, or regardless of warranty status?
And now you see where my problem is.
I think this would be probably regardless, from what it sounds like.
Okay, so
And note the key term is they say they refuse to repair your product. Not that they're going to hang up the call or that they're saying, no, we're not going to give you your repairs. So what do you think of these rules? Which of these you think are valid? I'm right down the middle. The first three are good. Fourth one's questionable. Bottom three I disagree with. What do you say? We've all worked in customer service, by the way, so we're talking from genuine. We've both worked in and been managers and supervisors in various help desks and customer service. Years of experience at the table here, all three of us. Heck, me and Bloodaxe worked together in that area at the same time.
And I'm still kind of in the service industry, and although it's in healthcare, and my service base is a little bit more challenging. I'm going to try to dance around, what I do and where I work. But the thing about it is, going back to one of the things you said was cursing or foul language. I don't care if you curse, man. You can be upset and curse and throw a fit. As long as you don't cuss me as a person, we cool. And I've worked with, like you said, with several customers that when they called, they were cussing and throwing a fit, and this expletive said this, and this expletive said that. And okay, you know what? We have a log of all that. I can go and verify what you're saying. I'm not worried about that. But as long as you don't call me certain words or use language at me as a representative that's trying to assist you, vent, go nuts.
Well, that's covered by number 2, though. They say insulting or denigrating remarks, so they mean cursing at the person. Yeah. They don't have in there just cursing in general being a problem.
That could be interpreted as cursing and denigrating other Nintendo staff.
Well, that's the last one, yeah.
Right. So I'm kind of like, But no, the other ones, I'm like, it makes me want to shake my head with the whole social credit score. If you're socially worthy, we're going to do something for you. If you're not socially worthy, like the whole PayPal.
That's China.
thing.
Yeah, that's China. This is Japan. So
how about this? Let's do this. Let's go down the list and yay or nay it.
And I will say to clarify, this is Japan's offices. So,
Different
this
culture,
is a lot of this stuff. Like the first 3 seem to be, common here.
They're default in the U.S.
Yeah. I don't know if they're default. And by the way the article talks about this coming from Japan's Ministry of Health and then moving over into this direction.
Yeah, it seems like this is new.
This is new for Japan.
Well, here, let's shoot through this. We don't want to spend too much time. Let's go down the list. Intimidating or threats. Well, basically, all of us agree that the first 3. Yeah, no, we're not going to repair your product. We're not going to deal with you if you're acting that way, right? How do y'all feel about excessive demands, such as for free repair or when the warranty expired? Now, note, for them to refuse the product repair because of this. What do y'all think about that as something that you're okay with or you feel maybe a bit much?
Here's the thing: when you speak of excessive is not a term that is defined by a number or defined by anything. It's interpretive, What I find excessive may not be the same as what Blood finds excessive or you find excessive.
It depends on the day. Your mood that day can determine what you think is excessive.
So I will say that's a little problematic because of the words. Mm-hmm. Normally, in the case of if somebody tries to demand something free, you just tell them you can't do it. And if they keep asking, you go, look, you have an option. You can either pay or you cannot get the repair. And, of course, this could mean the same thing because if I give you those options and you don't want to pay, then, of course, I'm not going to fix your product.
That's a good way to say it. There needs to be some context. What do you think, Bloodaxe? Because, like, the way it reads, you're right. It doesn't even make sense. Obviously, you're not going to repair the product if they won't pay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're a service provider. And just like, with any service, if the person's unreasonable, and again, that's very vague.
Yeah.
Or if they're deliberately being malicious, or if they're being derogatory, then yeah, you can choose. You know what? I choose not to service you. But if it's a covered warranty repair, and that's where I draw the line.
Well, that particular one actually says when the warranty has expired.
Right. But if it's covered by warranty, you may say, "I want it by tomorrow." Sorry, not going to happen. These are our timelines, but if you say I'm not gonna repair it for you because your expectations are too high, I don't think that's right.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, if you continue to make the demands and you won't ever compromise, what choice do I have other than just to end the call and not fix your stuff?
Yeah, but I mean, it's sir, you can send it in. We're limited on supply. We're limited on man, whatever it is. Yeah. I can't promise when you're going to get it. Now, if you choose not to send it in, that's on you as the customer. But as a company, if it's covered, no, dude, I don't think that's right. Just because you expect to have it, tomorrow morning, that's unrealistic. People are like that,
and that's why
I want a loaner.
Sorry.
So they can make all kind of unreasonable demands, but I don't think that that's right. But the last three with.
Well, wait, hold on. We're not done yet. We're going to go down. Don't jump ahead.
Yeah.
My opinion on that actually meets up with yours, because my thing is this. I don't like the way they say refuse to repair the product, because that to me says the person was making demands. You're not going to get the demands, but you also refuse to repair it under any circumstances. That I'm not okay with. Hey, if they go, okay, then I'll pay you. You can't go, I don't like all the demands you made. Now I'm not going to fix it at all. So I feel that needs way more definition. That's the best way to put it. That needs more definition of what they mean by excessive demands and won't repair it. Now, demanding an apology from Nintendo or the staff without reasonable cause. Now, I'm going to go throw mine in first so I don't interrupt anybody like I did a little while ago, and say that I get it, but an apology is free.
Yeah.
An apology is free, and I've always told my staff, if somebody is asking just for an apology, just do it. Just do it. Then you move on with your business.
I will give them an apology for Nintendo, but as a staff, I don't know if I'd give them the apology.
Hey, they said demanding or its staff. Okay, well, like I said, if they say I want an apology because my system is wet. Okay, we're sorry now.
And that's more just me, because I don't like to apologize for crap, especially if it's not something I did. I will refuse. But, I mean, if you want me to apologize on behalf of Nintendo, sure, I'll say that crap all day, because it means nothing.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really. When I'm at work, I'm in work mode. It ain't personal. Yeah. I'll apologize to you because the sun rose, if it means we can move on with this conversation. Some people need to hear that, and if it means you move on with your business, who cares?
I'm sorry.
You're not asking me to say something like morally questionable.
I'm sorry, Nintendo did not meet your.
I'm sorry that your husband doesn't love you. Whatever you ask him, I'll tell you. I'm sorry, your kids are stupid. Let's move on now. Send it in to address blah blah blah. Now, what do you think, Bloodaxe? Because I'm interested, because he's the most professional out of all of us, probably.
Yeah. So when you first read that, my mind didn't go with, verbal phone apology. My mind went official Nintendo stamp signed by the CEO apology. And I think that's reasonable, that, you can't demand an official apology from Nintendo Corp. If it's, I'm on the phone with somebody and my stuff broke because my dog ran across the cord. You didn't make the cord long enough. I'm sorry about that, but we'll be happy to work with you to get it fixed. That's one thing. But demanding an official written letter from Nintendo, I think
he's smart. I didn't think of that. That they wanted like a letter.
I mean, if it's warranted, yeah. Your stuff caught on fire when I turned it on. I am really sorry.
No. This is without reasonable cause.
Right, but reasonable cause, I think it's fine. But without reasonable cause, yeah, I mean, I think most rational people would agree I'm sorry this happened to you. How can I help? Versus, I demand. Going back to the other excessive.
Well, yeah, there's nicitudes versus going out.
Yeah. No, I like the way he broke that down, though. That's good, man, because like I worked for an infamous cable company in the South, and I've apologized to a person for them like getting their modem wet. Like they spilled water on their modem and shorted it out, and I said, "I'm so sorry." And I mean, that's you. You know what I mean? I had a person that left their modem in the basement when it flooded, and when they called me, they said it was underwater, and I literally said, "I'm sorry." And even they went like, "Oh, you don't have to apologize." And I go like, "It's a reflex." I told them that. I said, "It's a reflex." Just the first thing out of our mouth after they finish complaining is, "I'm sorry, move on." Because here's the key. This isn't a statement of, this is where y'all got to remember, this isn't a statement of, we won't give the apology for the reason. No, this is a statement of, we won't repair your product. And I'm like, no, if the only reason you have to not repair their product is they demand apology, you're not fulfilling your business responsibility. You can't decide we should repair your product, we're supposed to repair the product, but I don't like the fact you asked me to apologize. That's not an excuse to not do your business responsibility.
To me, it also depends on the level of demand.
I'll still repair the product. I just won't give the apology like Bloodaxe is saying, but I'll repair the product. I wouldn't not repair their product because I would just go, no.
I guess I always think of unreasonable demand as you just keep demanding and you won't let me get to the point where I can repair your product, Because I've had that. I've had that in retail.
Dude, I've seen a tech to someone's house where they were still cursing.
Yeah. Or somebody's demanding something so much that I'm like, look, let me just take care of your problem. But they won't get past their demand. So they don't get their problem taken care of. That's just...
I'm sorry, you just reminded me this time as one woman was cussing and flipping and cussing me out. I was like, yeah, ma'am, and what's your last name again? Uh-huh. Oh, that's terrible, uh-huh. Yep, that's blah. They just drop it. I go like, and your address is this, right? And I literally scheduled them a tech while they were cursing me out. And then at the end of it, I said, ma'am, he'll be there Thursday. Oh, thank you. And that's what she did. She just stopped and said, oh, thank you. And I was like, oh, you're welcome. Like I was, hey man, I got the job.
All right,
done.
let's get through this real quick.
Excessively repeating the same request or complaint. Again, refusing a repair, no. Yeah. But if you can't get to the repair, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, once again, that's also now the last one is the one that sort of scares me a bit. This is the only one that really bothers me
because that implies they're monitoring you.
the defamatory comments on social networks or websites. So if I go on because I'm mad because my controller still has that damn drift, and I get online and I go, God dang Nintendo, these assholes that can't get a controller. Not so you
voided your warranty now.
Yeah,
apparently.
Now I can't get any kind of repairs because I got mad and said something on social media. Now that's a little. What
do you think, Bloodaxe? Because you got your eyes up. What do you think about the social network?
I'm just thinking back to earlier this summer when I came on the show and ripped a certain company a new one because of how they completely hosed me over, lied to me, treated me like dog shit. I'm sorry, treated me poorly, and then kept my stuff for over 2 months. Didn't repair. Tried to charge me. I'm like, I ain't paying that.
You brought it in before the warranty. They held it till the warranty expired, then called you and said your warranty's expired. I was like,
so I don't think that me releasing my frustrations publicly has any bearing on your ability to repair my stuff. I'm paying you for the service. And now, since you want to act like that, I will no longer purchase your service, and good luck on finding more customers. So I think this is going down the same rabbit hole that the PayPal social credit score went that we didn't cover because it's too political. I'm not going to dive into it, but I think it's a very slippery slope.
I will say this. One of the biggest things that we talk about a lot in businesses and stuff like that is those vocal people like that are vocal on social media. I mean, have you seen how fast things get repaired or fixed when you do a bad review on Amazon? Because those are the people who other people see.
Sadly, sometimes the only way to get attention, you're right, is to report what happened.
So for Nintendo to go and say, oh, no, if you start talking crap on us online, That's dangerous.
And that's the key part, because you said talking crap, because inflammatory or defamatory are very loosely defined.
Yeah.
See, to me, it's not defamatory if it's true. But does that mean that's what Nintendo mean? Nintendo may think you complained about how fast your weapons break in Breath of the Wild. You defamed us. And it's like,
yeah,
that was just a comment. That's an opinion. So I don't like that loose terminology that they can use to void your repair or refuse you service. So. I don't like refusing service. Like I said, you don't have to apologize, but you better repair my stuff if it's your job to. If it says that I'm supposed to be able to get a repair, then we going to court. We're going to court if you decide you're just not going to do it. Now, the first 3, pretty solid. 4th one, okay, but the 3 are leaving way too much.
Yeah, like I said, the last one is the one that gets me the most. But, I mean, it is sort of funny. I mean, yeah, this is Japan. The country's Ministry of Welfare praised Nintendo for this stance. And I'm gonna be curious on how this pans out. That's a big thing. I want to watch this, and hopefully, I want to hear the horror stories that come from this if they really hold true to this. But
yeah, because I mean, we did our job regardless. I've been called everything under the sun, and while that meant I might hang up on you, I still sent a text to your house. I've had to hang up on somebody, but still scheduled them a guy to come fix because their service. Because here's the key part: their service was out. So I wanted to get their service working. So if I had to email them and go confirm this appointment because we can't talk in person because you keep dropping the N-word on me, that happened. Yeah. But guess what? I scheduled that woman's appointment, though, because my job was to fix her service. I just don't like the idea of you going, and we're not going to do our job. You don't have to tolerate it, but you need to do your job, man.
Agreed.
Dansbird, you can have an apology. I'm sorry for your sissy feelings getting hurt over something I don't even remember. Now, we didn't say it was going to be a good apology, but you got it.
Oh, right. Well, talking about companies getting results from stupid things they do.
We didn't explain that. By the way, we have people in chat demanding apologies.
Or just kill my transition
We have
entirely.
People in the chat demanding apologies.
All right. Well, fuck a transition. Let's just talk about Amazon.
Wait, we can't say F transition. We can't do that.
Oh, you know.
You try to set us on fire?
No.
Apologize.
No.
Now we need an apology.
People can take my words out of context if they want. I don't care.
That's not even that. Wow, that's worse an apology than mine. I don't believe I don't care is an apology.
All right. So Amazon stock soars amid big tech rally. Now, this is after a historic 1 trillion stock drop.
But how's impressive that they have that to lose? Because my God, they lost that and they still rolling.
Yeah.
That's all some people are worth. Like, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just the money, those big numbers.
Yeah. Amazon did history with one of the first companies to lose $1 trillion in stock in a day.
Shake it off.
But it does seem like they are jumping back up now that they came out and they started talking about basically they're going to start trimming some fat, which is honestly, God, the number of places trimming fat right now in the tech industry, dude.
Oh, yeah.
People are getting laid off left and right.
On top of that, don't forget entertainment. Got it over to Warner with Zaslav. JPEG says Disney's about to do it. The infamous Twitter fiasco. It's like big companies, by the way, though. You go check our old videos. We predicted this, man. We said that at some point, these guys are going to realize they're losing money. And the tragedy is that instead of changing what they were doing, they're just going to fire people. And that's what's happening. They're trimming the fat in jobs. I'm not exactly happy about that. While I want to see some changes, I don't want to see it in mass unemployment. But unfortunately, a lot of big companies are doing it. And Amazon employs a lot of people. So God knows how many employees are about to lose their job. That's kind of worrying in its own way, too. Tell me if you disagree, but I feel like this is going to be a wreck on the job market.
Yeah. Like I said, Dude, yeah, like you said, most people can't think of $1 trillion. I mean, dude, we were all blown away by the $1 billion in the lottery, you know, just like, oh my God, that's such a life changing. And then these people are losing like $1 trillion and just keep on going.
They bought Twitter for less than that, didn't they? Like Twitter, I don't think got up to $1 trillion. Like Amazon lost. Like everybody's looking at Elon like he spent a lot of money on Twitter. I'm like, Amazon lost that in a day.
I think 30-something billion.
Yeah, and Amazon lost that in a day and said, we'll fix it. Like they didn't even feel it, man. They were just like, all right, man, we'll fire some people. We'll be good. Go ahead, Blood.
It was like 40 billion. I think it was 44 billion he paid for that. But you know, my first thought was if you hadn't paid $1 billion for the Rings of Power, you probably wouldn't have lost a full $1 trillion either. But I mean, going to the things they've done with the Wheel of Time and the Lord of the Rings, the fans that grew up and appreciate those properties have been alienated. So the content that you're making isn't, you know, impressing those that know the content well, which is one thing. But there is going to be a section of the population that's going to pay for Amazon Prime because they want the 2-day shipping. They don't care anything what's on streaming services. But you're investing so much into the entertainment market, but you're not making quality entertainment. So we don't even turn on Amazon Prime, even though we have it. But if you're trying to dive into the business that Disney's been in for decades, and then Netflix has perfected and done well, even though they're not doing well right now, but they've done well historically for over 20 years. You've got to come with your A game, and they don't have that gotta watch show on Amazon. They got lucky with a couple of movies they purchased during the pandemic, and those were some pretty good films, but you know, there's not that Mandalorian moment or that Stranger Things series that Amazon has. And so when you're already kind of fat at the top from the executive level and the Fed's raising interest rates, things are more expensive. You're going to have to start making, you know, hard decisions. The first thing should be make quality stuff. But Hollywood hasn't quite caught on yet. Some people have, but for the most part they haven't. And if we get into Disney, we'll see more of this type of thing here in a second. But that's my biggest thing is, you know, get your head out of your backside and actually listen to what your entertainment base is asking for, and stop listening to those 5 people with megaphones who, you know, you're trying to cater to on Twitter.
Hey, man, I feel you, but unfortunately, they disagree. They got too many employees. That's what they think. No, we need to fire some people. That'll fix it.
Well, it just says cost-cutting reviews. So that could be anywhere from employees to how they're shipping. I mean, they're talking about I think they were releasing something about new drone technology they'll be using for shipping here soon. So there's cost-cutting can be employees, which it probably will be employees, but it's also other things. I mean, quit buying the overpriced toilet paper. Let's get the 2-ply instead of this 4-ply special.
Oh no, man! Come on, make that toilet paper. You know what? Let a few people go. You can't cheap out on the toilet paper.
But I mean, that's cutting people is not the only way to have cost cutting, though. I mean, they did say they're trying to up the average wage and the average starting wage, so that's where they're adding value there to employees. But I guess cutting value, maybe have less employees, but pay the ones you have more. I don't know.
We'll see, man. But you know, it's just wild that so many companies have started this.
I did
hardcore.
like his use of words there. They'll emerge primed to accelerate growth.
That cost them some stock value there. That joke was so bad that was like at least 10,000 off the top.
It's like a granddad joke. But no, I mean, employee overhead is your biggest expense, and so there's going to be probably some employee loss. But when you have, you know, a director and, you know, a manager and one employee under that tree, you know, that tree don't branch very far. So that's where you have some opportunities to be able to save some money, kind of bundle some departments together and be able to save some of that white collar overhead. But the blue collar guys, for the shipping and the warehouses and stuff, with Christmas coming, you can't cut too many of those people because they won't be buying from Amazon.
Well, yeah, no, I mean I guess that level of employee is the ones you're going to need the most with the holiday season coming. You need your more entry level employees to get those sales transactions done.
You need warm bodies at that point when it's the big season. Yeah. So we segue into a comic book world or the video game world.
Oh, all right. Let's see.
What you feeling?
Well, I guess we'll jump over to this tragedy.
Let's go to Marvel.
All right. So next up, this is more just I guess a comment than it is news. But I mean, I just, man, this hurt me when I saw this. The new Ironheart costume that looks like a heart. That is the most painful looking costume I've seen. And I mean, dude, Marvel has done a good job of innovating on a lot of the costumes and bringing a lot of the costumes to the screen, getting rid of some of the ones that really didn't translate well to the screen and come up with new designs. I don't know what they were thinking here. I mean, because that's just horrible.
It's a heart. It's an iron heart.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Oh.
When Care Bears care.
And I mean, if you look at the comics, I don't see anywhere in the comics where it looks like that. I see a lot of cool designs.
For a short while, I swear there was one, but it bombed fast and got ditched. It very quickly got abandoned because it was fugly. And like,
I mean, even this design looks better.
Yes, than the horrible heart engines. Wee.
But I mean, I would say, I would probably try to stay away from the hot pink for the screen, and I would go with the more classic Iron Man looking adaptation.
I like her other one. I like that one with the purple and gold. That next to her, up there. Actually, when
that's a hot pink, I think.
Yeah, but it still doesn't look bad. It's got black, gold, and hot pink. Those colors go well together. I've seen that before.
They do go well together. I'm just saying, if you want to get away from the traditional girl hot pink motif.
I mean, you slide down, it could be worse. They look like they got a heart on the forehead of that one. Go down one row. No, one more row. That one there, it's a freaking literal heart on the forehead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the heart's purpose? And is it a braking mechanism?
Well, it looks like the comic.
Well, they didn't want to call her Iron Woman and sound derogatory, so they made her Iron Heart.
The comic sort of has the heart on the forehead. I don't mind the heart on the forehead.
Even though Iron Heart makes more sense as a name for Iron Man, who literally had the heart replacement. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah. But, I mean, dude, that's just horrible. I'd rather see her have a heart on her forehead.
But it's a heart.
And, I mean, because it's not even super heart shaped. It's just sort of heart shaped, where this is just ridiculous.
That is ugly. And we're not commenting on the movie. We're commenting on the ugly ass armor.
Yeah.
The armor was not flattering, and it's weird because we've seen this tells me that whoever designed that costume did not design anything else in the Marvel universe except maybe some of She-Hulk's outfits. Because that is ugly.
Mr. Wallace in the chat room says the heart shape is for extra armor and weapon mounts.
You're messing with me, right?
I asked that question, and apparently our boy A was the one that actually gave me the answer. But yeah, because just from a functionality perspective, it makes no sense at all. Doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, it looks like you have the jets here,
But if she's supposed to be smarter than Iron Man, why would she have a worse flight system?
Well, that's true. Maybe it's faster.
Because wouldn't that be a vulnerability? You have these very apparent engines that can be damaged.
That's a target.
It's easy to hit target with how much it's almost the size of her whole torso.
Yeah.
Each engine. So
it's a target. It's less streamlined. You're gonna have more drag. I mean,
it should be louder. You know, like.
It's a head scratch. I mean, it almost is like she has like two twin heads on the side of her shoulders that are trying to branch out or something.
Well, the biggest problem is that with the superior technology miniaturizes. So if they're going with the concept that this is a person that's more inventive. Oh, no, he said he's trying to, okay. Hey, okay, Max, I'm trying to be logical about it. It's just ugly. Right. It's also a bigger target, like I said, because like I said, if you're shooting at her, I can see the fans. I can put a bullet right in there and just take her down.
Vent right there.
So that doesn't even seem to be superior from an armor design.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Also, that's got to be uncomfortable.
It was hard not to pass up not talking about that design, man.
So she was in, and I haven't seen Wakanda Forever. But she was.
You're not allowed to yet. Still the opening weekend. Oh, not allowed to talk about that. Sorry.
Have we heard what the audience's reaction to Riri Williams was in Wakanda Forever?
They love it. It's heartwarming and brave.
I've seen on Facebook several people go both ways on it, where some people love it, some people hate it. I mean,
it's got a great Rotten Tomatoes score across the board, both critics and audience.
Does it?
Yeah.
So does she hope. All right.
I mean, from the verified views.
What about IMDb's score of it?
I bet it's still going to be high, dude. Nobody's got the guts to down the movie. One guy gave a middling review, and I think they already burned him at the stake. You know, orphaned his kids. So I don't think they're allowed to knock it.
Yeah.
Let's see. IMDb gives it a 7.4 rating.
They're going to be canceled by next week.
So that's it's not great. It's not.
I've heard a lot of great praise for Angela Bassett, which I believe, because god dang it, Angela Bassett's amazing, and I loved her in the first movie, and I doubt she'd be anything but excellent in the next movie. Haven't heard a lot about Riri Williams' character or T'Challa's sister's character. I've really only heard mainly about Angela Bassett being really, really good.
Where's Rotten?
But I mean, it's Angela Bassett. You know what I'm saying? She is the queen.
I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot more about what happened with Ironheart this week, and we can probably follow up next week.
Yeah, now that's a pretty big difference between IMDb people rating and, of course, verified score of 95%.
85's all audience, 90. I'm surprised the critic score isn't 100% though.
Top critics are 75%. That is odd.
That's a shock.
The opening and closing sequences. Of course, there are those. There were a lot of people mad about how they did
Chadwick Boseman actually making.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm just going to say there was a lot of people upset about that.
I do not feel they did his legacy well with deciding to use certain elements in the movie that felt inappropriate. I can say that.
Now, others obviously say it's a stunning tribute. So
we all saw the trailer. We know it's in there, but I still think it's tacky.
No, I know all the details though, and it's tackier than you think.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's tackier than you think. I don't know. No, my boy may have seen it. Ayo, have you seen Wakanda yet? Let's see. It'll take him a little while. There's a little lag, but I want to see if he's seen it. He may have already caught it.
Well, thank you for sharing, because apparently I'm not allowed to watch the film. At least
just the opening weekend. You're not allowed to watch the opening weekend.
Don't listen to that stupid stuff, and don't. It's dumb.
I was gonna say until after
one idiot said that stuff.
Two now. I said it also. Two idiots.
I was talking about the one idiot that.
I don't mean it. Yeah, I'm just harping the person that said don't.
I was trying to finish and said until after Thanksgiving, but you ruined my joke.
Yeah.
So,
well, Q ruins my transitions, so
that's nothing new.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. No, I'm not getting in trouble. You're setting me up.
He says not yet. Going this coming week.
Yeah, let us know what you think about it. Because I am kind of curious from someone that I trust what their perspective is.
Oh, dude, Ao got me into comics, dude. He's the one that he introduced me to my first Black Panther comics in his collection.
Yeah.
So this is the guy that brought me into the comic book world hard, like really following that stuff. He has the comics. He is by far the most well-versed person in this conversation about Black Panther. So his opinion is worth all of ours times 2 or 3. So I'd love it if you come back in a week, man, and talk to us about it. All right, if you want to even jump on live, it'd be great. Because I have a reasonable understanding of Black Panther, but like he like had all of it.
No, AO is nerdier than all of us, actually. So he knows more about comics. He probably has forgotten more.
He decided to just go with nerdier. He's nerdier than all of us. How about more well-informed, jackass?
No, he's nerdier.
Because trust me, I still consider you nerdier.
Nerdier than you, probably. You're smarter than I am.
I don't know about that, but your bobblehead collection says I'm not as nerdy.
This conversation's gotten we're all right, so let's talk about Gears of War. While we're still in the movie sphere,
yeah, this is technically a crossover. Good job. Good transition.
I'm gonna let Bloodaxe talk about this because I mean he is our Gears of War guy, man. What's you thinking about this? From what I understand, this is a movie and a series. Is that right?
Well, the announcement that Netflix came out with was they're going to make a live action film followed by an adult centered animated series. And that is both exciting and concerning at the same time because we all saw what Netflix did with Resident Evil and with Cowboy Bebop. But we've also seen them make some really good content. But this comes off the heels of the whole Halo Master Chief going to Paramount Plus and not performing very well. But I've been chomping at the bit for 2 franchises to get a film adaptation since I've known Q. One is Soul Calibur, which I'm still waiting on, and the other has been Gears of War. And this, I think, is coming 16 years too late, in my honest opinion, but it is what it is. But I do hope that they treat the franchise with respect and bring in people that know the lore and not pull an Amazon and say, okay, you know about Lord of the Rings, get out. We want to bring in other folks. Now, they haven't made any casting choices. I know that, most of the fan base and even David Bautista has been pounding into the table for him to play Marcus Phoenix. I'm not in that camp just because when I played Gears 5 with Q, with the Bautista mode enabled, it did not go as they wanted it to go. Even he was like, please turn it off.
So what is the Bautista mode? I'm not familiar with this.
So there is, whenever you're playing the campaign of Gears 5, they added something about a year or so ago where you can add your custom skins that you've unlocked from playing PvE, PvP. But you can also turn on Bautista as Marcus. And every single one of Marcus's lines is David Bautista. And as Q was talking about earlier, and I'll let him elaborate on it whenever, you make certain choices and you have this moment, it went over like a turd in a punch bowl. It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Gears is about loss. I'll make it quick so you can jump back to you. I won't elaborate long. It's basically Gears is about loss. War is hell. And there are scenes where some choices lead to, and it's not really spoiler because you don't know which one happens, where tragedy happens to the Phoenix family, and Bautista did not sell those emotional moments.
I've never seen Bautista do anything emotional. I've seen him mostly do comedy, or dry.
Very dry.
And dry comedy at that. I mean, it's so I will say I don't see him. I haven't seen anything that tells me he could portray a warrior type,
especially losing like somebody important to them.
Other than he's big,
and because we have both voices available in the game, he got curb stomped by the voice actor. Like the acting level was just miles. And there's a really important scene that I'd never seen before, and the first time I saw it, thanks to Bloodaxe, I saw it with Bautista. So it just went bloop, and I was just like, why would you show me the Batista version first, you jackass? Because all the emotion just kind of went womp, 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 womp.
Oh.
And I was like, oh. And I'm not trying to knock on him, but compared to the voice actor, because also the other problem is the other voice actor is really good. It's not all Batista's fault. They put him up against a really good voice actor.
Yeah, well, the thing about Marcus is I hadn't seen Marcus in forever in the campaign. And when we picked it up, I also hadn't played the campaign in a month or two. And I was trying to finish the achievement to get my seriously, was it 2.2 or whatever it was, we had the thing on Incon. And I forgot about it. And when he came up and I was like, okay, what choice you want me to make? And he goes, well, make this choice. I like this choice better. And when we did that and came back, and he scolded me for about 5-10 minutes for having it turned on. And I felt really bad too, because it's not like the whole situation with Maria and Dom or Dom and Marcus, but they did kind of tug at your heartstrings for the whole, war is hell and loss is hard type trope. And that's one of the things that I think the Gears 5 strayed away from a little too much. They try to circle back around with this, pivotal choice, but even the whole scene just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And since Andrew hasn't finished the game, I'm not going to go any further with that. But I do want to circle back around to, if Bloodaxe's wish list, when it comes to the Gears of War film or even the animated series. And I've read most of the books, and what I would love to have, I don't know if anyone's ever seen, I'm pretty sure both of you have seen Pacific Rim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So in the opening sequence, when they talk about the first kaijus coming in, is basically just a 10-year snapshot of how things evolve. I would love to have an opening cinematic sequence of the Pendulum Wars and how the UIR and the COG are fighting over the Hammer of Dawn technology, and how the COG finally get the Hammer of Dawn from UIR, and they're kind of celebrating, and then E-Day happens. And those of you who don't know, Emergence Day. And with Emergence Day happening, that's when you start the film. Because I think if you go with a war movie during the Pendulum Wars, you're going to lose your audience, because most of the gamers haven't read the books. They won't appreciate it the way that I would. But number two, they want to see the Swan.
Well, you also want to get people who haven't even played the game if you do a movie correctly.
They want us to see the Locust, and I think that's what we all want to see. And if I swear to Christ, if they cast anybody other than Carolyn Seymour for Queen Mira, I won't watch it.
Oh no, she is Queen Mira. That would be a tragedy.
Yes, because her voice, the way that she projected herself, that regal, royal, but iron-fisted, ruthless.
Dude, her appearance, she looks the part. See, they based they based the character's appearance on her.
But and I haven't reached out to her, but based on my research, no casting decisions have been made. It's just they've acquired the film rights, is what I understand. But I will keep a pulse on it, and then definitely provide any updates, because I'm a Gears of Waraholic. One of my tattoo ideas is I want to get a Crimson Omen on my right shoulder, and it's something that I've been thinking about for years, and I just haven't found the design that I want yet, because I am a Gears of War nut.
By this article, it says Netflix didn't announce even any filmmakers attached to the adaptation. So
let's give you this homework then, Bloodaxe. What we need to do is try to have, as soon as you can, find us a star to cast. Like, find us a guy to play Phoenix. I'd go say, look at the war films to find your soldier.
I will cast Delta Squad, but I've already got one of them pegged, and you got to have Lester Spate as Augustus Cole. I mean, there's no way around not casting. Lester Spate is a big dude. He's bigger than Bautista. I mean, he already has the physique of Augustus Cole. And he does the voice of Augustus Cole. So everyone has seen, was it Terry Smith, office linebacker, or Terry Tate, office linebacker? That's Coltrane.
Oh wow, that dude is Coltrane. Yeah, he's got the look. That dude can play Cole. That dude can definitely play Cole, and he does the voice. That's perfect.
But I'll try to fan cast it for our next update when we have actually some casting news. But you got to do Delta Squad.
I want to see who you do Baird, because that's your favorite character. I'm really curious who you'd pick for Baird.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind, and I think we're going to move on to the next topic for now, and that's going to be since we transitioned to movie/video game. Now we'll go full video game with Final Fantasy 16 news. Final Fantasy 16 will be a PS5 exclusive for at least 6 months. Now a lot of people are like, it will, even after 6 months, will it show up? Being that Final Fantasy VII Remake was an exclusive, I think, for a year, but still hadn't even shown up on Xbox and only showed up on PC back in December of 2021. So this is another one of those. It's still, every time I see stuff like this, it always amuses me because, we've had with the Xbox purchases, Sony crying about, oh, well, they're going to go exclusive to Xbox and it's going to ruin us. And it's just like, but you get so many. Like,
I mean, they pay off companies to keep stuff exclusive for periods of time. And in the case of Final, like I was telling him, my big thing, because this is really a me topic, because he wanted to see me flip out. And I can forgive God of War for only being on PC because it's owned by Sony. I get it. They own it. You ain't going to see Mario hanging out on PlayStation. Yeah. I get it. But Squaresoft is its own company. The fact that they never put Final Fantasy VII Remake out on Xbox is why I still haven't bought it on PC. Because I'm like, you have no reason not to put this out now that you're no longer blocked out on every console. And that tells me that you decided to screw Xbox. So guess what? I might be a PC player too, but I'm also an Xbox guy. And if your attitude screw Xbox, my attitude screw you. So I'm not buying. I've decided if I ever buy Final Fantasy VII Remake, it will be on Xbox now. And if I ever buy Final Fantasy 16, it will only be if they put it out on Xbox.
I would be curious to see
I'm tired of this.
I would be curious to see what the market response was for the previous Final Fantasies that were on Xbox. Like, maybe they had a poor market response for Final Fantasy on Xbox. Have you thought of that? Like, I mean, you say, oh, well, they're saying screw Xbox. Maybe they're saying that there's not enough money in it versus the license it would take.
I mean, usually all you got to do is do a port. Ports ain't that expensive.
Well, you still have to have the license. Like, anytime you develop a game for a particular console, it's got to be licensed for that console. So I think there's an upfront fee just to port.
Really? There's a fee for them to put it out on Xbox? I didn't know that particular mechanic. That sounds a bit odd because usually the console wants the games.
Well, there's the which they probably already have because they've released other games on Xbox, so it's probably not. And I'm talking from inexperience here, so I'm not 100% sure on how this works. But I know you have to have you have to purchase the developer's kit whenever you release something on a particular console. Of course, you're going to have those resources for debugging and all that stuff. So there's also developer hardware that you need for testing.
Well, but once you got it on PC, the Xbox is basically just a PC. If they got a PC port, it shouldn't be that hard to take that extra step.
Basically, and is very two different things when you're talking about software.
All right. Maybe then there's an actual technical reason that they didn't do it.
My question is, what would be the sales for Final Fantasy on Xbox? Because, I mean, I'll be honest, most people I know that are Final Fantasy fans are also fans of Sony. I mean, it's who have kept up with them.
And there's something that we haven't even touched on yet is most of those Final Fantasy games were made for the Xbox One. We have Series S's and X's, and so you're going to have a completely different tech schematics than what you were used to with the older Xbox consoles. Because we've seen a gameplay great on Xbox Series S and X or trash on the One and vice versa. So that may be something else that they just haven't prepared for. Just throwing in a monkey wrench into the conversation. I'll shut up now.
It could be
they're Final Fantasy and PlayStation exclusives have been around for a while. I mean, they were PlayStation exclusive, I think originally, and then they finally started showing up on Xbox, a couple of them, but then they went back to PlayStation exclusive. So I don't know. It's just it's a weird market. I don't know how the numbers play out. It would be very interesting to find out. I mean,
there's a Final Fantasy that was on there, the one with Prince Noctis. That one's on Xbox. So maybe I'll tell you what. That's a good homework for me.
Yeah,
I'll
13,
go take a look.
I think, was Xbox.
I'll go take a look and see how it did to see if they have a justification for saying it won't sell on Xbox. But I disagree, not that I have a fact either, that it would be hard if they've already done a PC port, key part, to go that extra step to Xbox. Now, if they didn't have the PC, I'd go, yeah, but the Xbox and the PCs are so similar. I believe that extra step is just a sideways step. It's not even a lot to have to do to jump that final step, is my opinion, unprofessional opinion. Now, note, if they don't have a PC port, I get it. That the port is probably, Sony porting to PC is probably a way bigger step than porting from PC to Xbox. But I don't think the port from PC to Xbox is large enough that it's like just a blocking point. I don't believe that alone would stop it. I still think that they're sucking up to Sony, and that's why they stay off of Xbox. Or even if they're being paid. They may be being paid to stay off Xbox under the table. I put nothing past Sony.
Yeah,
I can see Sony paying them.
Here's an article from 2016 about Final Fantasy 15 PS4 sales stump all over the Xbox One version. So here we have 15, which was released on both PlayStation and Xbox. And Xbox One Edition scooped just 21% of all copies sold. So 79% was on PlayStation 4.
That's why you go exclusive. But, is that 21% so bad as far as money actually made that you don't even port it? Because normally most businesses want to make all the money they can make. Does that mean they operate at a loss if they put it on Xbox?
Well, it depends on how many
trying to figure out.
Depends on how many physical copies they made for Xbox. If there's a landfill full of Final Fantasy 15 games, then yeah, it is prohibitive.
Yeah, so the question is did they operate at a loss or did they make money on Xbox? If they made money on Xbox, they have no reason not to put out on Xbox.
Yeah.
If they didn't make money, then no, I'd have to rescind my judgment because I understand you want to make money.
And they do pay for the exclusives. And the thing is if I only got 21% of sales on Xbox and this dude over here is willing to pay for the exclusive and I'm already selling most of the copies on their system anyway, then
I'm not knocking the exclusive. I'm knocking the fact that after the exclusivity deal ran out, they still haven't put it out. And why not make
But I think Final Fantasy 15 released on PlayStation and Xbox at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah,
so you're telling me I only got 21% when I released it at the same time? Is it worth it to release it later? Because I mean, if I only got 21% when I released simultaneous, I'm going to get less percentage releasing it late.
But that's how you grow your market. Because also, don't forget that most PlayStation owners are Japanese, and it's a Japanese Squaresoft game. We can't compete with their market. We're not going to compete with them for Persona games. They're going to buy more of it. Dude, we're RPG gamers.
Yeah.
We are not the majority of the RPG gamers are not the majority of the American gaming market. We all know that's true. So yeah, we're a smaller percentage. But I mean, is it a loss though to reach that extra audience or to abandon us? That's all I'm saying. I feel abandoned. So I'm a Bethesda man because at least Bethesda treats me like it wants my money.
I get it. I'm just saying. I mean, you look at the numbers, and the numbers say it may not be worth it. Once you get caught
it is. If it isn't, then they're good.
Once you get the extra cost of printing, because if you don't print a certain number of copies, then it's even more to print.
Just go full digital. Man. Most stuff's digital anyway. That's even cheaper. Just put it out as a digital sale exclusively.
I mean, I don't really see the purpose of course, if you do digital only, then... Yeah, because I mean, heck, the Xbox Series S, which is I think the most sold Xbox in Japan, doesn't even have physical capabilities.
Doesn't have a drive.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I drive.
I'm asking for access, but I'll tell you what, I'm willing to. Y'all have made me willing to be reasonable. If it's a good reason, okay, I might give it a go. If it's not Sony pandering and it's genuinely not cost effective, I can forgive Squaresoft a little bit. But to be honest, I'm mostly done with Squaresoft anyway, because while some of their newer games have been action RPGs, they still play around with turn-based at times, and I'm done with turn-based, man. I want to get in there, man. My old blood needs to get moving. I want to get in there and get to whopping some heads.
Yeah.
So I don't have any love for turn-based RPGs anymore. Now, note, most of the new Final Fantasies have not been turn-based. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not getting Final Fantasy 7 though, because it's been out long enough. Nah, man. I'm not sure they're going to make another one. Plus, I don't want to pay all that money for each chapter. I don't really like the format of it. They're moving too slow. But right now, Bethesda's my RPG company, and what's our other one? Obsidian. You know, Obsidian and Bethesda are where we're going for our RPGs for now. But I'll tell you what, we'll see how 15 does. We'll see how it does. We'll see if it's worth our time.
Andrew in the chat says he thinks Final Fantasy 14 made the move towards PlayStation from Xbox. Square makes a mint of Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. 14 is making an app. So they they got reasons to work with PlayStation. But the thing is, I don't have a PlayStation. So I'm out your market then.
All right. So next up, let's talk about something that will be multi-platform and across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and that's going to be the next Diablo 4. Diablo 4, they're talking about open world, but it will have a beginning, middle, and end. I am curious how they're going to do the open world. As you mentioned, I don't know what their experience is really with an open world. So that is a good question.
I mean, that was what started debate, because all three of us are Diablo players. I became recently, I've been indoctrinated, but I'm all in. Like, I've completed a whole season, got my set, looking forward to the next season. These guys are have been in it since the first game. And when I looked at them, I said, well, you've played the other Blizzard games at World of Warcraft. How good are they at open world? Because my open world experience, unfortunately, is a bit unfair. Because my first real MMO, actually, this man played with me, was Elder Scrolls Online, which was amazing. I consider it the golden standard for him. I don't like MMOs, and Elder Scrolls Online made me enjoy it.
Open world is a very broad term. So when you're thinking open world as in Skyrim and stuff like that, that's a whole nother game.
And Elder Scrolls Online, that's not Skyrim. Those are two different things.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying, when it comes to Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online, open world is a very different thing. I mean, technically, you could say World of Warcraft's open world, but at the same time, they have level ranges and in the early areas. Of course, now their new expansions don't. But I mean, as far as the events and stuff that like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online does, where it actually you're finding something cool. Yeah, Ultima Online. Oh. Look, I was a huge Ultima Online fan. Don't get me started on that. Like that was my first real MMO. Went from text based to Ultima Online.
Well, let me explain to you what online open world is to me because of my experience. Me, online open world means I can walk out there and find an amazing story or a place to explore that's detailed and interesting. No matter which way I go, there's just a world of adventure that isn't related to the main story. It's just a lot of cool things to do. And I don't consider open world just being there's instances for me to find. No, I want that, like I said, Bethesda spoiled me. I want a full story. I want to go in here and find records and what happened here and investigate.
Yeah, that's not necessarily open world though. That's just having a good built out world with details and I
admit that. Like I said, I'm spoiled. I unfortunately
because
started
all
with the
open
good.
world really boils down to is my zones aren't locked. I can go to any zone. I can choose the direction I go in instead of taking a linear path. Now they're talking about the story will still have a beginning, middle, and end, which is more to me. I mean, Skyrim's story has a beginning, middle, and end as well.
Elder Scrolls Online has a main story.
They have the main story. So I don't know why they threw that out, because of course every story has a beginning, middle, and end. That's not something that's you'd think isn't going to exist because it's open world.
Now sandboxes sometimes don't, because they're like Minecraft, they're infinite.
Well, yeah, sandboxes tend to be infinite, like you said. But I mean, open world does not mean your story doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end. It just means there's a lot of other shit to do outside of that main story. That's a beginning, middle,
other
and
stories.
End. Yeah,
there's whole other, and that's my whole thing is, will Diablo 4 when it says open world? Now, thank you. He helped me nail it down. I'm sorry, Bloodaxe, we're going to get to you. But do they mean there will be stories for me to find off to the side, or does it just mean, hey, go search this dungeon, kill these monsters, find this treasure box?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Diablo 4 become more RPG-ish even than it is in 3. That would satisfy me a lot because I already love the necromancy. I'll tell you something, y'all, just out there. Y'all know me. Some good necromancy in Diablo 3. I ain't gonna lie. That's some good necromancy. And I would love to see them allow me to get my character even more into character with these stories that I could, get involved in to the side. Actual stories that are not just walk up to quest giver. Oh no, my sheep is gone. Go kill 15 rats. No, man. I want to be like, what? Your daughter's missing. I don't know. Find out her uncle did it, because he's a cultist. Like, sorry, again, Bethesda spoils you. Deep stories. I've walked into random dungeons in ESO and it ended up on a whole arc finding out about what happened to this family and their ancestry. And then I'd be like, we're not supposed to be stopping werewolves or something. You get lost in the side stories. If they could get up to that point, then this may be the best RPG I played in a while. Because one thing ESO doesn't have for me, and Skyrim didn't have that well, necromancy was poor. Even with mods, I couldn't get it up to the simple amount of fun I've had with my Diablo 3 necromancer. Sorry, it's rare I could criticize them, but their necromancy's kind of weak.
So when they were talking to him in the interview, he did say, one of the concerns about putting open world and big neon flashing that sign is that people have the notion of Breath of the Wild. I don't really get that comparison. Breath of the Wild was just
those are very different games, man. I would never compare Breath of the Wild to Diablo.
It's completely organic, and I can go anywhere and do anything. It's just, that's not really our story. Our story allows for linearity, but there is a story. We wanted to have a beginning, middle, and end. This just confuses me because I'm like, do you not know how games work? But anyway,
have they ever played an open world RPG?
You can actually not pursue the story for a while. You
can do that in Diablo 3. I've been running around in a rift for like 3 days.
That's the nice thing about the open world. There's a lot of side quests, a lot of things you can do that aren't on the golden path. This concerns me just not because that's not what I would like. I do like that, but the fact that he thinks that this is something novel.
The fact that, you can kind of do. What are they changing here? Like, we remember that time you went hunting a path to go to Unicorn Land because you were able to do that. That you can do that now. What's changing? Now I'm confused because I'm like, I can do what you're saying in Diablo 3. Are you saying you're going to do it better?
To be able to go outside the story originally in Diablo 3, if you're not playing the seasons, you had to play through the story first to unlock campaigns. You're seeing it from a season aspect where you can go directly to campaigns.
True, you couldn't go to every map from the beginning. You're right. Maps were locked until you advanced the story.
So you had Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5, and you had all, each one had a different map, and you had to go through it sort of linearly. And only until you unlocked adventure mode in Diablo 3 could you bounce around like you're doing now.
But it still existed, though. So they're talking like this is really new. It just sounds like what they're doing is they're going, we're not locking maps. Yeah. Which case, they should have just said that. Because, like I said, the more they talk, the more confusing.
Well, hopefully it won't be an Act 1 map and an Act 2 map and an Act 3 map. Hopefully you just get this really huge world and you actually get to see it all connected and you can travel through it
on your horse.
And it not be separated by acts. Because, you don't really, in Diablo 3, you don't really see how the world is connected. You're just going from this map to this map. This
hub
map.
World to hub to hub to hub.
And it's well, how did I get from this map to this map? Well, apparently I took a boat, but, where exactly is that in relation?
I couldn't tell you. If you say which way is old Tristram, I'd be like, it's click on that dude.
Yeah, so maybe you get more of a world map instead of that segmented world.
I don't know if that was worth a whole article then, if that's all they did.
Yeah, I'm throwing ideas out here, man.
I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying they put this big article to just say connected map. Oh.
Well,
congratulations, you caught up to elders.
The article is just about it being open world, but not. I don't know.
Bloodaxe, we even haven't let you say nothing. What you got on this, man? And we'll close out with Bloodaxe's statement.
So the question I have is the amount of changes from 3 to 4, because as we were talking about last week, the amount of changes from the first and the second one weren't all. There were some, but they weren't as massive as from 2 to 3. 2 to 3 was a different game. It was still called Diablo, and you still have to fight Diablo, but the amount of changes, the quality of life improvements, just the format for which you play the game was drastically different. And I'm hoping that they build on some of the successes from the second to third one, but they don't drastically change it too much, because then it'd be like have to learn a whole new game again. But you also take the risk of making too many changes that you lose your core audience from the first 2 games. Because I know Zeno has been the most vocal of the 3 of us on the show about being a Diablo fan and aficionado. And I grew up on Diablo on the first one, and I played all 3 of them. I pre-ordered the second and third one, and I'll probably pre-order the 4th one, which goes against things that I traditionally do nowadays. I don't pre-order games because Wonderlands has completely soured me on pre-ordering anything anymore. But Diablo is one of those games that you kind of expect to know what you're going to be getting. And it's gritty, it's bloody, and it's fun. It's a looter in every sense of the term, because I quit playing Diablo a couple of years ago because I had nobody to play with, and I finally talked Q into playing, much to Zeno's chagrin, because he's been trying to get him to get it for years. I said, hey, it's on sale. The next thing you know, I'm out looting again, trying to find all my gear for my Crusader, which I can ride my horse from area to area, unlike you. So with that in mind, yeah, I like the looter aspect of it, but I also like the rich story aspect, which I don't think that. I mean, Diablo 3 does touch on some of the story aspects that, kind of flesh out the world a little bit better. But I think there's a lot of meat on the bone for some of the side quests, side stories, getting different stories from different classes and how they interact with the world, or their factions interact with the world. Things that, Q's been talking about, how he wants to see how his necromancer from 3 is now the head necromancer of the order for the 4th one, and
priest of Rathma, because the way when you play through the story, you basically become the new chief. So I'm like, ooh, cool. Does that mean he's going to appear if I play a necromancer? Did I train under him? Very curious to see that.
Yeah, so having it build on the lore that it has established will be enriching for those of us that have been playing from 1, 2, 3 to 4, or those that have at least picked it up in 3 and caught up on a lot of things at the 4. Will have a lot more satisfaction. So, but I'm excited about it. Open world is definitely something that I would appreciate, and not being hamstrung by acts. But I do understand that they have to have, you have to have mandatory beginning and then a whatever, and then you have to have a climactic end at the end. And that makes sense. But being able to go and do whatever once we get to that point, like we did in Cyberpunk, you can go do whatever, but there's certain things you can't get to. I'm on board with that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that's a good closeout. Now the only thing we got to find out is me and you, we're going to make, now that it's finally cross-platform, we're going to make Xeno here carry us in Diablo 4.
Look, man, I've been trying to, I've checked my email every day in hopes of getting into the closed beta. But so far, no luck. Excuse me. But
I'm almost thinking of sitting it out.
I mean, there's the open beta coming in February that I think everybody will get into.
I'm so that, yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, if I have to carry you guys' asses, I'll carry your asses.
We earned it. We've been waiting. I want to ride this Diablo Master's coattails.
And,
I'm gonna grab the back of your hair and just hold on.
Never said master. I said I like the game and I'm good at it. But yeah.
Now we're gonna get dizzy because apparently you spin to win.
Oh yeah, man, spin to win.
He's a spin to win.
I will say I love taking the characters and finding the most lazy OP build possible. So like my barbarian build and my rogue build, or Night Stalker, or whatever it is, I forget what it is called. But
rogue's a new class. Rogue's going to be the new one.
are the most lazy builds you can make, but they're also super OP. And you just both of them are basically spin to win. Even the rogue one, you're just sort of flipping through and killing everything.
That's fine. He'll play Necromancer. I'll play my Wizard Morchu, and you can spin to win, and we'll go balls to the wall.
There you go.
Please don't screw Necromancy.
Oh no, I did have a super lazy mage build too, where everything on his bar just triggered with his primary attack. So
they have a build for Necromancer for that, but I'm not as lazy as you, so I switched off of it.
Yeah. So that was my mage build. My mage build was you just I think you had to do 2 different attacks, but anyway.
Just switch between 2 attacks and everything triggers.
And everything triggers.
They had a Nova build like that, but I went back. I like summoning. Mortis summons undead. And summoning Army of the Dead over and over was fun.
Yeah, and it just blew up everything on the screen, so it was nice. It's
going to be easy to ride your coattails if you're that lazy. Yeah, like we're just standing there like, stay within melee, stay within a certain range so you don't get hit while he blows up the screen.
All right, so... Anyway, that's all we got there. One last thing is say a goodbye. This week we saw the passing of Kevin Conroy, which is the voice of Batman, animated.
Voice of Batman.
And sad to see him go there. And
I will go as far as to say that I think he revived Batman. I think his portrayal of Batman leaped Batman's popularity to a new generation. Because I mean, when you think about it, it's Adam West, then it's Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Yeah,
the most memorable.
I will
Batman.
say I'm a bad fan because where I've always enjoyed his Batman. When people ask me who the best Batman is, I always forgot about him, and now I feel really shitty about it because he passed away.
I always said the animated. Yeah, I knew I would go like because me and Flynn used to watch it. Man, it was the best. Me and Ao, and it's just like. This was, I think he brought Batman back into the limelight when he took him off the comic book pages and introduced him to non-comic book readers. He is almost solely responsible for making his character come to life for people. And I will always give him that credit. His voice is iconic. So, hey, man, shout out to you. You're Batman. You're the reason Batman is still relevant today. I will say that. I think that's why he's relevant.
And we'll end the show with that, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Once again, we are, doing this live on YouTube. So be sure to come check us out every Sunday at 3:30 Central Time. And you can go to Dicejunkies.com where you can find links everywhere we are online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. And, We'll be posting as we go out and we do stuff. We've got some cons coming up in March, so we've got a little break here. But come March, we'll be posting back up on Instagram and all that about where we're at, and maybe you can come out, see us, have a drink with us at some of them, depending on how things go. So thanks for watching. As